What is happening? It's your boy TB from SMB. I'm back at you today. We got a lot to talk about today. This might be a little long one. Get your popcorn, get your Mountain Dew Zero. We're gonna be doing some chatting. We got some stuff went down today. We got Google earnings came out today, and they're not so hot, not so hot at all. We got the Nasdaq down 2% after hours, giving back all the gains from today. Google down well over that, down about 6.5%. The S&P's down about 1%. Uh, Basically, we just had Google with a big fat miss on earnings. It missed on EPS. It missed on revenue. It missed on everything. Um, and yeah, that's of course in 2022 more than enough to tank the markets. And yeah, it's just an obvious. I mean, Google's the king of like digital spending, digital ad revenue, all that stuff. Snapchat just had a horrendous earnings, but people were still holding on to maybe Google. Maybe Google could do something good. But it did miss its earnings numbers. But why I am thinking this isn't that bad, or I mean, it's only down 6.5%. I mean, Tesla, I think, dumped more than that, and its earnings looked worse than this. Um, its reported revenue was 69 billion over this last quarter. That's a 6% year-over-year increase. Expectations, however, were at 70.6 billion, so they missed by about $1.5 billion, which sounds like a crap ton, but for a company that's getting almost 70 billion in revenue a quarter, not that bad. YouTube and yeah, YouTube had a 1.9% decline. It's the first year-over-year drop in 2 years. Cloud revenue had 6.8 billion. That's a year-over-year increase of 38%. But yeah, that miss on EPS was pretty rough. But still, it's not like Google is absolutely collapsing through the floor. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow what happens. But I have been looking at the chart, and I'm seeing Google. You can see Google's after hour $98 a share. It closed at almost 105 a share today. But you're seeing where Google is rejecting off of. So that's mainly what I want to talk about. I told you guys last week, I haven't made a video in a while, but I was telling you guys last week that I was looking upwards. I was thinking things are looking more bullish than bearish at this very moment, just based on purely price action. And so far, it's kind of been true until now, of course, once Google has crappy earnings and yanks the whole thing back down. But anyways, I'm looking at Google right now. And Google, if it opens where it is right now, we are heading back down for this 4-hour demand zone. So what I'm talking about is this little box I got down here. And you can see every time a 4-hour candle hits that box, bought out. Hits it, bought out. Hits, bought out. Hits it, bought out. Hits it, bought out. And we are heading back for that. And that's ultimately what I want to talk about on a market-wide scale. Let's actually go to the Nasdaq futures on a market-wide scale. So here we are. We're on the Nasdaq futures, and now things have been ripping. We've gotten a nice little bounce here on the market, or I mean on the market, on the Nasdaq and the S&P. We've gotten about a 12% bounce. I mean from the absolute bottoms of these CPI rip down. So we've had a solid bounce. But one thing that I mean, I still struggle with it. It's one of the hardest psychological barriers to jump over as a trader. Is that when things go up, you are expecting rejections. And what do I mean by that? Well, you have to expect once things start to climb, they are going to hit a level and reject off of that. And the hard part about that is that you see it break a level, like right here. I saw it break this level, and you buy. That's when you buy because you think, hey, we broke a level. We're going to the next one. And you don't think, wait. I should be expecting a potential rejection and a retest of past levels. And that is ultimately how trends are established. Every stock, every stock does a wave. And that wave pattern, it has tops of waves, bottoms of waves. So you got to know that when you get to a level and it looks like you're breaking it, that you should hesitate a second and be like, hey, we might just reject off that level. But I'm going to wait and see where that rejection takes us. I'm going to wait for a retest. I'm going to look at past levels, and I'm going to see, hey, if it retest, look at this. I can see this just right here. Level right there. Look at this. Look at this level that we bounced off of. Bounced off it over here. Tested it there. Tested it. Bounced. And boom. It came right off that cheeky little level. You retested it damn near. But that's just how the entire market works, and that's why I'm still pretty bullish on the market. I'm expecting absolutely a bloody red day tomorrow. Not so bloody red that I'm like, oh god, short everything. But looking at the Nasdaq after hours is down, like, it gave back all of its gains today. I mean, just brutal. It's down below, I think, where it opened today. Yeah, it's down to where it closed yesterday. But that's to be expected. And now let's look at the S&P futures. So same thing. Here we go. S&P, we're ripping. We're ripping. What's it done back here? It ripped up here. We bounce off 3,500. We rip up here to 3,770. Reject. You might think, hey, look at that. We're breaking through this level. We broke through it. Wait a second. You're going to expect rejections, and you're waiting for retests. So look at that. You wait, you wait, you wait. You watch the rejection, and then you tell yourself, hey, I'm looking to go long here, but if we come below this past low, I'm not going to go long. But if we get a bottom, if we find any support at a level above that past low, then I might potentially look to go long. And that is the toughest part of trading, because it's so hard when you see a hard rejection like this it's very difficult to tell yourself to still be bullish, but to just look for where you get the bounce. It's just such a psychologically difficult thing to do, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I struggle with it to this day. Of course, it's very difficult, but that is just part of trading, and that's why when you do get a rejection, you cannot just be like, "Oh, everything's screwed. Throw it all out. Everything's done." You just tell yourself, wait a second. I'm going to wait and see where we land. That is the big, big key. So looking back at the 4-hour. Now we know this level right here is significant on the S&P futures. Right here, 38.50. Look at where we close today. Right above that level. Or right under that level, I should say. So we bounce off today. We bounce off 37.90. We come up to this level, and what happens? We're rejecting off of it. And we are right in the process of rejecting off of it. So now I'm going to look at these past levels I have. 38.10. I'm going to look for a bounce there. If we don't bounce there, I'm looking at 37.90. If we don't bounce there, I'm looking at 37.60. All these past levels where we've gotten rejections before, and then, God forbid, we might even just come all the way down to something like 36.40. I don't think so. But if I were a betting man, I would say we'd see a bounce off 37.90, and that's just, the S&P is just always going to do that. It's always going to give you this crazy, I mean, it looks crazy bullish right here, right? Well, this doesn't look crazy bullish now. It looked crazy bullish back here when we broke above this level here at 37.60, but now it's getting a little overextended, so you're expecting rejections, and you're expecting volatility at these rejections, which could mean volatility to the upside or volatility to the downside. And right now, obviously, we're seeing volatility to the downside. So you don't panic. You just say, hey, where are we going to land on this? And now I want to look to some reasons that I am looking a little more to the upside than I am to the downside. Here we are on the volatility index VIX for the S&P 500. And you can see we have gotten a very clear break of this uptrend that the VIX has been in. And now if we look to the past in the VIX, you can see where these uptrends have been broken before, right over here. It got a nasty fake out over here, so that's why I'm a little worried about that this could just be a fake out like it was back in July. But even though it was a fake out in July, right here, July 22nd, you got a fake out. Let's see, what happened on the S&P July 22nd? So over here, you see the S&P, we got that fake out on VIX, we're ripping up, and we get a pullback. But hey, what was that? That was just a rejection, wasn't it? Yeah, we just rejected off 3,900. No reason to panic. You're going to look and see, where do we bounce? Ah, there we go. We bounce right at this level, 37.40. Then we go back up. And then eventually you got that confirmed breakout of the uptrend on VIX over here. Wait. Oh, no. I was looking at July 15th of year 2022. So you get the confirmed breakout on the 15th of July, which ended up actually being right over here. But if you were bullish right here, you reaped some big rewards. Obviously, S&P went up crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm just saying, you got to look at the VIX. You got to look at the dollar index. And now the dollar index, I'm not so much crazy about earnings. I mean, if earnings are absolutely cataclysmic, catastrophic, then I would be very worried about earnings. But really, the true story of this year in general has been the strength of the dollar. The dollar has just been going crazy, and you can see where the dollar spikes over here back in January. It starts spiking over here in March, and then it really starts taking off in April. And that's where we got that bloodbath in April, was because the dollar was skyrocketing. Look at this. It inverses the S&P perfectly. Look at this. End of March, it's looking pretty good. Then it bounced off support right at 97, and it just skyrocketed all the way through April. All month, it just went crazy through April. And now I don't need to tell you guys what happened in April. But back here in April, what? Oh no. It just went straight down. And then where did it really start going down? Right where the dollar started spiking. Right here at the end of April, back in the April 21st. Dumps because the dollar is spiking. So that is really the ultimate indicator. That and the 10-year U.S. 10-year Treasury notes, which I'm going to look at that also, which is also breaking a nice little uptrend. It's been on this crazy uptrend, just going nuts. It is breaking out of that pretty nicely, but ultimately is still following this uptrend, so it could bounce somewhere over here on the 4%. But this, I mean, this is really a shocking picture. This 4% yield on the US 10-year. It's the highest it's been since, since when? Oh no, since about 2008. You don't like hearing that. But we're seeing a nice little break of that uptrend for the time being, but that has also just been going vertical since August. Very, very scary stuff. Everyone's leaving the bond market left and right. But let's take a look at Apple. So same thing. I'm going to show you rejections across the board. Now, where is Apple rejecting off of? Oh, look at this 4-hour supply zone. Look at this. Sellers have stepped up right here, this little box. Go ahead and clean up this chart a little bit. Buyers have stepped up at this little spot right here. Right here, they've been stepping up. Stepped up right there, stepped up over here. That's where we got the big dump off of. And now what are we doing? We're retesting that supply zone right at 152. Right at the 152 area. We're retesting. We're back down at 151. Apple's not down too bad after hours, really that bad. But we have rejected off of that, and now we are going to look to see where we retest. We're going to retest a past level. It could be 148, it could be 147.20. I have multiple levels here on Apple. It could be clear down here 145. But the thing is, we got a higher high. We have gotten a higher high confirmed. You see these highs? You see that little consolidation right there? We break out of there. How easy is that? So we have our higher high. We're looking for our higher low on Apple. If we do get a higher low, obviously bullish. We already have our higher high, higher low on the S&P. Looking at SPX, we got our higher high over here, higher low, and now you break the higher high and we catapulted. And now we're looking for the higher low. Same thing, looking to see where we bounce. Let's look at, I never look at Bitcoin, but god dang it, I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin. All right. Now, I've been showing you guys all these charts where stocks are ejecting off 4-hour supplies. So what do you think Bitcoin? Well, I'll be damned. Look at Bitcoin. Same thing. Same goddamn thing. Look at this supply zone on the 4-hour. Look at this. This is the 4-hour chart. Look at all these wicks. Now, these wicks tell you the price gets up there, it gets rejected. Look at these crazy wicks. I mean, this one green candle closed there, but reject, 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 reject. Rejected it over here. Come over here, we retest. Oh, look what happens. Big rejection. Retest, big rejection. Retest, reject. Retest, reject, reject, reject. And what's it doing now? Oh, I'll be damned. It's rejecting again. And now we're going to look and see on Bitcoin where it retests. So we could come down, retest 19,800. We could retest 19,700. Either way, just know it's rejecting off this 4-hour supply. Which it has been ever since basically the end of August, except for over here, it finally ripped through it. But also what I'm seeing on Bitcoin is a nice little wedge down here that it is breaking out of. You see this trend line right there, this nice little white trend line? Look at that. How's about that? Nice little breakout right there. See that? See that breakout? It broke out over here at 19,000, retested it, and now we're bumping. Also, this is the I got this one labeled big downtrend line, boys. Why do I have that? Because this is the trend line from the entire year. I mean, you zoom out to the weekly and you get a better picture. This is the entire trend line, downtrend for the entire year right here. I mean, the peak over here in November, the peak over here in March, and then you draw the line, and god damn it, looks like we broke out of there. So I don't know. Things are looking up for Bitcoin. We know Bitcoin just follows the Nasdaq, but I'm just looking around and I'm seeing a lot of breakouts. I'm seeing a lot of breaks of downtrend. Another good one, or I mean, obviously the Nasdaq too. Let's go to NDQ. Clearly, same thing with the Nasdaq. Big red downtrend line. We have tested it, rejected, tested, rejected, test, broke, and then we retested the trend line, and now we're climbing. So same thing there. Same thing on the SP500, SPX. Same thing. We got this trend line starting up here, coming down, coming down, coming down. We broke it with conviction, broke it with volume. Strong break of that. So I'm going to look at a few of my other favorite setups. So I'm really liking Square. Square, I'm not like high success rate on Square or anything, but I've just been keeping my sorry, my throat's a little sore. Getting a little sick. I've been keeping my eye on Square. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm seeing here on Square. So let's see if I can clean up this here a little bit real quick. So this big red line up here, obviously the downtrend we've been in, we have broken out of this downtrend, as you can see. You could maybe argue that this is the true downtrend, but I don't really know about that. You could say that's the true downtrend. They're really just right next to each other. So actually, I mean, yeah, you maybe could. Yeah, I think that one's even cleaner, honestly. So that big red line, we've broken out of the downtrend, and now looking at Square down here, we have a nice little diamond pattern on Square. And now this isn't a pattern that I'm ever that crazy about. It is just something that I kind of noticed was pretty clean looking on Square, where you have this pretty clean trend line down here, ultimately making a diamond pattern. See if I can make this one a different color so it's actually clear. But we have broken out of this. And now a diamond pattern, I mean, this is the ugliest diamond pattern in the world, but just bear with me. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. It's coming together, boys. Patience, patience, patience. Here we go. So you can kind of see the blue diamond right there. It's not perfectly symmetrical. I tried my best, all right. But you have this diamond pattern breakout. We've obviously broken out of it if you consider this to be the trend line. See, not perfectly symmetrical. But we've broken out of it. We have a clear break of that trend line. We have a clear break of the downtrend line right there. And now another reason I really like Square a lot is because let me clear these out, and then I can zoom back into the 5 minute. I know there's a better way to do this. Probably delete. Zooming in on the 5 minute here on Square. So I got all these crazy levels. I know my chart's a big mess, but these levels are super helpful because you can just see left and right. These levels have been like crazy good money. I mean, it's kind of insane. So this is Monday over here on Square. We gap down, and what do? I mean, this is so easy. We rejected off of $56, and where do we retest? We retest $54. This previous level I had set, that's from way back over here, way over here. Look at this. We had support down here at 54. I mean, from weeks ago. And then what do? We retest it and launch, just catapult. I mean, it goes from 54 straight up to goddamn 57. And then look at this. Where do we go up to? We go up to this past level right here, this yellow line at 57.15. I had all these levels set before. I swear to God, I did not put any of these here. And we reject off that. And then what do? We pull back to this previous rejection level right here at 56. And then it bounces up. And then where do we go? We test 57.60. We reject. And then what do? We pull back to this past level and we bounce. I mean, Square has just been so money. And then same thing today. Same exact thing today. We open up, we come up, we break out, we come back over here, we reject up here off of $59, we come back, we retest 58, we bounce off of that, and now look at Square. It is testing $60. It has rejected 60 twice, but Square has just been money. It is in this massive, zoom in on the daily. It's just in this massive box. I mean, this thing has been consolidating like crazy. So you know when that it's had this insane consolidation right here from this $54 range up here to about the $60 range. And we finally have a break above, a close above this 59.50 level. It is looking like it's about ready to catapult out of this box. And when you get the big consolidation in the zone and you start to break out of it, it's the more consolidation, the more it moves. And I mean, Square is just looking great to me. Another one that's almost looking even nicer, which I have bought shares of at about a $61 average, is AMD. So AMD is same exact thing, just in this big consolidation zone. It has been consolidating from $59 down to about $56 for a long time. I mean, we've been down here for about, what is that, like 10 days? And look at this, just barcoding, just doji after doji after doji, after a test, and a rejection, a retest, a reject again, a retest, a reject again, retest, reject. I mean, it's crazy. So we finally got a daily close above this key, very important rejection zone of $60. We've finally gotten a close above that, and now after hours we're of course retesting 70 because we're rejecting off of the $62 level. But AMD has also broken this downtrend we're in, and it is looking great to the upside. I think this thing is just so beaten up. I mean, it has just been destroyed ever since August. I mean, it's gone from 100 straight down to $55. It is looking for a bounce, and it's a great setup to the upside, if you ask me. But just know, AMD is highly volatile, and when you break out of these boxes, it doesn't mean it's just going to go straight up. It means it's going to get very volatile, which could mean huge dumps, but you look for where it retests. This is the hardest part of trading, is knowing where you're going to find resistance and knowing where you should find support, and knowing that if you don't get support at that levels, you should consider cutting losses or flipping to the downside. But I am banking on AMD probably coming down here, retesting $59.90 to the $60 level, potentially even testing $59.50, potentially retesting $59, and bouncing eventually and finding some movement to the upside. And we have this massive volume gap right here from $60, and then obviously just a absolutely huge gap from $64 straight up to 68. I mean, it gets just sliced through that like hot butter. But this is what I'm seeing in the market, boys. Sorry, another long video, but just know, ultimate lesson today is that you should expect rejection. Just because the market's rallying, you got to expect rejections. It's always going to happen. You're just always going to get rejections. No matter how bullish things get, you're going to find rejections. You're going to get retests. Same thing happened over here in August. Same exact thing. Exact same thing. Look at this back in August. SPY's ripping. We come up to 4170. Reject off of it, and we retest 4100, bounce, we go crazy, we get a 5% move on SPY. Same thing over here. You test 4000 on the S&P. What? Oh no, rejection. Everyone goes short. Everyone goes short. Oh shoot, actually we're just going to retest 3900 and bounce off of that. So you got to be careful. Don't get caught in the noise. But know we have Apple earnings tomorrow. Things can get crazy. I mean, it's a toss of the dice. You don't know what's going to happen in earnings, but we are not seeing those like chaotic, just crash moves at all. We are not getting absolutely horrendous earnings reports. We're missing expectations, but we're not seeing earnings reports that are just like making people's jaws drop that they're so bad. So you got to keep that in mind. But I think we do have a bottom for this year. I'm going to say it. I know it sounds crazy. I think we have a bottom for this year. I think we could see a winter rally. The month of October is almost over. We only have how many more days? We got like, yeah, we have literally 3 more sessions, 4 more in the month of October. Let's see if we can get through, guys. Good luck. October's when it dumps. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment if you guys enjoyed, if you want me to look at certain stocks or what have you. I really appreciate it, guys. But I'll try to upload more regularly. Because there's just so much going on every day, and I didn't even get to all of it. But this video is 24 minutes, so I gotta end it. Anyways, guys, thanks.